Welcome back to Making Me Watch Movies. The movie you're making me watch today is The Nightingale, 2018, directed by Jennifer Kent. Schwartz, is this your pick?
This is my pick.
Of course it was. Another rape-filled movie by Schwartz. What's your word?
Whoa. Let's not fucking equate rape movies with Schwartz. Let's just equate movies that are dramatic and have really good storylines.
All right.
If you look at the history.
Let's go that way. Let's go that way.
Rape in your movies, but yeah, go ahead. If
Well,
the storyline you like is rape.
First of all, this isn't my movie. Second of all, it's a great movie. It's a revenge tale, and the rape is the catalyst of the revenge, among other things. If you guys are too soft for it, let me know.
No one said soft. I'm just making an observation. But what's your word?
It definitely made me soft.
I'm glad. If it didn't, I'd be worried.
Yeah. You didn't need to qualify that one, Jake.
My bad. Go on. What's your word? Go on.
You weirdo.
My
word? Were you trying to get hard?
Absolutely not.
Were you under the preconceived notion this movie was going to make you hard before you watched it?
Did you think this was a sexy movie?
It definitely wasn't sexy. I'm glad. I'm glad they don't sexualize those scenes, obviously. Because sometimes
did you think this was the sequel to Babadook with rape?
No, I knew it was going to be a different movie. Clearly a different movie.
That wasn't a real question. Schwartz, what was your word?
I'm going to go gross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jake? Yeah. Soft?
Rough. I was going to say rough. This movie was rough.
Yep. And I'm going to say this movie was simply uncivilized.
Ooh, that's a good one.
There you go.
That's a good one.
I'm pretty good with words. I'm like a goddamn thesaurus.
Nice.
You're a lyrical wordsmith.
Yeah, I'm the M&M. I'm the white M&M. 2018.
Yeah,
buddy.
It's definitely a movie a Schwartz would pick. Tell us why, Schwartz.
Hold on. Tell me why you say that first.
No, I'm asking. This seems like a Schwartz movie.
I 100% agree. I thought the same thing.
I just want to know why, though.
A Schwartz movie.
What is the criteria of a Schwartz movie?
Well, unfortunately, rape is part of it. Sometimes movies
how do you say that though? I've picked two movies with rape in it. This is the second one.
You've picked several. I mean, just your last pick. The favorite had rape scenes in it.
Make a rape list.
It reminded me of Brimstone in a lot of ways, of just similar. I don't know how similar time periods, but just very unlikable. I'm not necessarily unlikable characters, but lead characters, a traumatized woman coming from a fucked up background, surviving trauma. It's just.
So, do you have a problem with that kind of story? Does that bother you guys?
No, this is just.
Nobody said it was bothering us. We just said it was something. It's something you would pick.
Traumatic period pieces with
They're revenge movies. They're fun.
It was a good revenge movie. I'm not faulting you there. I didn't dislike this movie.
I just don't like you guys telling the podcast world that because it's got rape in it, it's a movie that I would choose. You know what I mean? I mean, it just happens to have that in it.
Cannibal Holocaust.
Another great movie. Great movie.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just an observation.
I'll give you
your great movies. A lot of them have rape in them. Let's do it.
I mean, I picked Promising Young Woman. Promising Young Woman was another revenge movie like this, but a whole different way. But just parallels this.
Yeah, it was like a PG-13 version.
What? Promising
Young Woman. Yeah. No, Promising Young Woman.
They didn't show rape in Promising Young Woman. They just implied it.
Yeah, it was it was a little less visceral.
I guess. So seeing the shit go down is do you want it to see it? Because there's some fucking.
No, I'm not saying I wanted to see it. I'm saying that
starts out with
see it.
This movie starts out with the Hills Have Eyes caliber violence going on.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking strong. Pretty strong.
Yeah, it's getting raped within 11 minutes. I remember checking the 11-minute mark was
Mr. Skin over here.
I was like, this was fast. It was quickly traumatic film. It was a rough
Yes.
beginning.
Quickly traumatic. That's a
Yeah.
good explanation for this film.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
this
one of the
film
reasons
is quickly traumatic.
that's one of the things I liked about this film is that it got straight to business. Like I like that after what happened to her, she didn't fucking mope around deciding what she was going to do. She literally just wakes up and decides she's going to go kill those motherfuckers. And I thought that was one of the coolest parts of it. There's no waiting around for anything. It just went and didn't stop.
Well, we didn't see the waiting around. Apparently, they'd done been waiting around. I mean, I know that he was killed, or she killed her husband and killed her baby, and that was the catalyst. But it seemed like for a long time she's been there. 3 months, they said, trying to do whatever they wanted to do, and he wouldn't let them. So this has been festering for a while, and then obviously once
I'm talking about though once she gets raped and her family killed, there was no waiting around. It was just go go go.
Yeah,
Right. But
certainly
there's
wasn't the
several
first time
rapes
she got
were
raped.
yeah, there were several rapes implied before. One time we see it before the family gets killed, but then it's implied that there's been a history of it.
Yeah, in that scene though, where he implies that, I think that was more about him fucking with the husband than it actually happening. I think that was the first time it
Well,
happened.
he was saying that they were fucking, like she wanted it. He was
Yeah, and that wasn't true.
Well, that first scene didn't
Hold-
seem
hold-
like
we
that
don't
was.
know that.
It
Hold on.
didn't.
We don't
It
know
didn't
that.
seem like that was the first time it happened, though. It didn't seem like that was like a new thing when like the first
To
time
me,
they showed it.
it did because she didn't really expect it. Like I think she was caught pretty off guard by the fact that he did that.
After she was married, it wasn't allowed anymore. But I think because he'd saved her before he met her husband, which means and that certainly, I just don't get the idea that was the first time that went down.
I didn't take from it that wasn't the first time though. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
It seemed like.
All right,
it
well
was,
let's
yeah.
start.
Well,
Let's start from the beginning
I think
though.
you're
Let's
wrong.
start.
You're
Let's.
You're wrong.
I think we got to set up what this is, like when it
what
is.
happens
So
at
it's
the beginning. She gets raped in the beginning. It's the first thing that happens.
Well, I guess we
Yeah,
got to
but
talk
let
about
me
the
say-
character of Claire. Go on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on. Just shut the fuck up and let me talk.
Go on.
Go ahead.
So it's 1825 Tasmania, and the English have invaded and are trying to colonize. So all the indigenous people are being slaughtered, and they're just taking what they want. They're raping and pillaging, and they're doing just whatever the fuck they want to do. And it opens up with a young woman who is working for fucking looks like a hotel or a brothel or the fuck you want to call it. And she comes out and sings a song, and they call her the Nightingale. I guess she's been a form of entertainment for these British troops, for however long, couple months or however long it's been that they've been there. And slowly shows you that she's got a kid and a husband, and that she is an Irish prisoner of these English troops, specifically the lieutenant. I forget his name, but he's like one of the most despicable characters I've seen in a movie. He just does everything with no remorse and no empathy for anyone, which is pretty crazy. And characters like that, as much as they're fucking terrible, they're highly interesting. So one night he says to her, "Hey, I want more than you're giving me," or as you guys think, want more of what I've been taking.
Yeah, I mean, just the way he looked at her when they were in the head nod, and she knew exactly what was going down. She wasn't down for it, but she knew what was up.
So one night he forces himself upon her and rapes her, and she goes home and acts like nothing happened. You meet her husband and their child, and like I said before, they're waiting for the lieutenant to give her letter of freedom, so that she doesn't have to be in their custody anymore and she's basically like their slave, really. She does whatever the fuck they need her to do.
Right. And
Cooks for them, washes them.
There's a part after that scene too, like after she gets the first rape scene, where she goes back to pick up her baby who's been like being taken care of, and then she gets criticized in that moment too, which I thought was a pretty fucked up part, where like they're like, "Oh, you've been living the life of luxury while we're here taking care of your baby," like accusing her of like, "Go and have a good time." Yeah, the help was like jealous.
Doesn't like her.
Yeah.
Okay, so then maybe you're right then. Maybe that's because he treats her a little bit better because he's raping her. Maybe that's what you're saying.
That's why she
not
had
that he
that
treats her
dress
better
on and shit.
Okay, all right, yeah. Then you're right.
She's all dressed up to look good and stuff like that, just to kind of appease
sing.
him and the men.
Great voice.
Okay.
Good sing.
Yeah, and the people that were pissed at her, they were also like slaves, right? Those other two women were basically slaves.
Yeah, because they were taking care of her kid. Like they were. I think that was
Yeah.
like the
I
the
don't know if
nursery
they
or
were
whatever.
like, were they on the same caliber as she was? Because she was a convict that was like
Yeah.
saved by this lieutenant guy.
Yeah. Well, saved is a word you can choose. You know what I mean? Like he basically owns her, and she's
Yeah.
his slave.
He
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
he saved her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely
Um,
some
I mean,
interesting
it seemed
history
like
here.
yeah, he saved because he said he saved her. He gave her the house. They got he let her marry a husband. Got her a horse. I'm not saying this was a good guy, but yeah, they definitely have history.
And I like how it does explore the history of like Australia and how the English kind of was colonized and
True,
everything like
true.
that. Because I knew of the fact that they
This is
sent their convicts
Tasmania,
down
yeah.
there. Yeah, they sent their convicts down there, but I didn't really know the extent of it. I didn't realize that the convicts are basically like assigned to someone as like almost borderline slavery situation.
yeah, I didn't know anything about that either. I didn't realize the British even colonized Australia. It's a fucking long ass
Yeah.
trip.
Yeah.
Well, it was.
Well, if you look
it
at
was-
the flag, it's in the corner.
Yeah, they that's like Jake said, it was a colony of convicts. That's just where they sent like the bad guys. They just sent them there like fucking Escape from New York style, just have this island and that's why Australians are all savage, and I mean that in like the most complimentary way possible. they're all just
Kind of
just
wild, kind of
wild.
hilarious.
Yeah, you don't want like you don't
Party.
and everything there will kill you. And yeah, just they're a little more manly than the average.
Kind of badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout
You
out to our
try-
Australian friends.
Yeah,
Do we
try
know any
living in the
Australian people?
Australian bush, dude. That would be fucking wild. I don't think.
Yeah. K-Mo's
Uh,
wife, Jenny.
Yeah,
Jenna.
Yeah.
Jenna. that's
Jenna. Yeah. Jenna's also like the nicest person ever. So
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to fight her. She'd probably break my arm off and throw it across the room like a boomerang. Watch it come back.
oh man, that'd be wild. I'd love to. I'd pay to see that.
I knows how. Probably learned it as a kid.
Should kill a roo with my arm, dude.
Mhm.
Shout out to Jenna.
You guys ever see that video of the guy like
Punching the kangaroo that's fighting
skydiving
his dog.
and he fucking no, I've seen that
yeah,
one where the guy like
yeah.
skydives and he's like landing and like as he lands just like a kangaroo out and throws him and the kangaroo starts like boxing him up as he lands, he's gotta fight it. It's fucking
Yeah.
awesome. dude.
Funny as fuck.
I have not
It's
seen
so
that one. This is
funny.
great.
Why
Cool,
are
wild
kangaroos
place.
such assholes?
I don't know.
I
And
don't
they're
think
like
they're
so-
assholes.
as
I think they're
prominent as,
just-
like,
they don't take
deer.
no shit like any Australian dude.
They're
It'd be like-
territorial, huh?
They're
It'd be
pissed
like
that
if-
they didn't evolve into the deer like the normal world.
Yeah.
They just they fused their legs together, got a pouch, and were hopping around like assholes. They're pissed off, dude.
and they just fight people, but they're able to. It's like if deer were able to fight us, if they just came over to us and started fighting us. That's what kangaroos do.
Hell
They're
yeah.
enough of a problem where they're like running in front of cars and
Also,
shit all
like,
the time, like deer are in
kangaroos
some
are
areas.
buff as fuck, and they could
I know.
they could chill on their tail and kick you.
Some are hilariously
Yeah.
like jacked.
It's
Crazy.
hilariously jacked. I want a kangaroo. You think you could have? I bet in Texas, I bet I could have a kangaroo in my backyard, no problem.
Probably.
Someone
At
would
least a
someone would
wallaby.
someone would shoot that thing in Texas
Why?
because
What if it's
Texans
in my
are
backyard.
crazy. Oh, I don't know. I disagree. I think someone would shoot it.
They won't come into his backyard.
Someone's
Then
just
Anthony
gonna
can
come
shoot
to my
them.
backyard and shoot my. Why? What's stopping them from shooting my dogs?
Not much.
Well, they won't because they know
Couple
Anthony has
loud
guns and
barks.
Anthony's can shoot them if they shoot his kangaroo. So no one's gonna fuck with Anthony. This is
Mm,
Texas.
Texas. People shoot people.
This joke's not landing. Let's move
It's
on.
not.
It's not a joke. I think if you had a kangaroo, someone would shoot that shit.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Moving on.
It wasn't supposed to be funny.
Should we pause this
Oh.
podcast while you finish whatever bit this is?
I'm not doing a bit. Quit being a dick.
So she was raped. Go
so
on.
we're at the rape. Go.
So yeah, so
We
he
meet a
rapes her.
family.
He rapes her. She goes. She acts like nothing happened. Hold on.
This movie sucked.
And then her family, her husband gets pissed. Obviously. But he doesn't even know what happened. He just it's time for her to be released because she was supposed to be released from this this servitude or whatever. a while ago.
I think he figured out what happened.
Yeah,
He saw she was all beat up. I'm sure it wasn't the first time. And then he got drunk and he went up to the dude and he was like, yo, you got to let my wife go. And the guy was like, no. And then he fucking punched him and they got in a fight. And then the lieutenant got reprimanded. And then they went to his house and they killed him. They raped her in front of him, killed him, and then they slammed the baby against a wall.
Yep, that was a fun scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking
Baby
hardcore.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that was coming as soon as the baby started crying. I was like, oh man, they're killing this fucking baby,
the
which
baby
was
was
pretty,
dying.
very terrible.
And again, I was like, this is such a Schwartz movie. Baby death. He loves this shit.
Also, just killing.
Have we watched a movie with baby death?
Brimstone.
Yeah, this is classic Schwartz. I don't know why you're so upset by it. This is the.
I'm not upset per se. I just don't think that baby death and rape makes it a Schwartz movie. I think
it also has racism, sexism,
psychopath.
I think a dark movie. Oh. I think a dark movie is a better way to say it. Movie with dark elements. What the fuck?
Sure. Yeah, 100%. They're just very specific dark elements for you. You got an MO, like a serial killer.
Yep. And you admitted the last podcast you were a serial killer, I believe.
Yeah,
I did.
The bodies, G.
Yeah, we have you on record saying that you're a serial killer, but you wouldn't reveal to us your MO.
We should put that on CD real quick.
Yeah, on record. So.
Oh shit! Hoping no one comes after me.
We got you, dude. But go on. Tell us about your favorite movie.
We're at the revenge.
So the lieutenant and his two men, well, his one like main dude, they rape her continuously as her husband watches, and her baby cries, and it's pretty fucked up and traumatizing and for anybody. And the husband ends up getting free and going after the lieutenant again. So the lieutenant picks up the husband's gun and shoots him, kills him. And then the fucking other
goes
dude
for the gun.
Yeah, gets the gun.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't he get it and then almost get him?
Didn't work.
No, it didn't work. Fucking, so they killed the baby because it won't stop crying, and she just right there is when she kind of just blacks out, really. She's just like over, like her whole life is just fucking done.
Can we talk about the baby actor? Great actor.
Real emotion.
Great actor.
Real emotion.
They're like, it.
Cue the emotion, and then it's good stuff.
How do you think they get babies to cry?
They just hit them against a wall.
They probably pinch them or put ice cubes on their feet.
Or it's called sound effects. They're not probably actually crying.
I mean, that baby was crying.
There's a baby crying somewhere to get the sound effect, right? Do you think there's a piano key that just hit that's a baby cry?
Yeah.
If there is, it came from somewhere. That's all I'm saying. A baby got tortured somewhere.
I don't think there was any torturing of a baby in this movie whatsoever, but so they hit her with the fucking butt of the gun, and which was crazy to me because that's not going to kill somebody unless you do it multiple times, really. And they should have just shot her, but I don't know why. I guess they didn't really think she was going to come back after me, though. So, another thing we didn't talk about is this lieutenant, the guy who is the complete scumbag. He's trying to get a promotion, and he's been at this outpost for a few years just to get the promotion he's trying to get. So his whole thing is that he's going to leave this place soon and get to fucking the promotion he wants to get and be out of this shithole, he calls it. Well, so the dude,
he's been there for a long time, and that was another part of the thing. And his boss told him that he wasn't getting the promotion.
Yeah.
So
that's why he kind of freaked out a little bit.
Yeah, he was angry, so he went and raped and murdered.
But even though he was angry about that, it's pretty established. It establishes that this guy is a fucking scumbag from through and through. There's nothing good about this guy. This guy is a fucking.
I think
terrible
the initial rape scene we figured that out in the first rape scene that he was a scumbag. So
he did seem kind of.
Well, that's what I'm talking. But what I'm saying is that there's nothing redeeming about this dude in any way, and it goes through the whole movie. Like he's not mad that he's not getting the promotion. That's why he's doing this. He's just terrible person. Even if he got the promotion, he'd still be doing this.
And he's pretty much not getting the promotion because he's a scumbag.
Because he's a scumbag, yeah. And he lets his men do whatever the fuck they want. They're all drunk and belligerent and like disrespecting the code of the fucking whatever the code they have or whatever. And
code.
But they basically are fucking
guidelines
pirates.
And rules, really.
So this guy finds out he's not getting the promotion, and they go and do this to the woman, and then he tells his right hand and this other fucking dude that they need to get a tracker, and they're gonna go talk to the guy who's supposed to give him the promotion in person, and it's gonna take a few days to get there. So they venture off with a native, which they're calling at this point Aborigines, which is a black dude, a Tasmanian native, and these guys are great because they know the land, and they go off. So the chick wakes up, and she wakes up in her fucking house with everybody's dead and her baby's dead, and she goes to the I guess the HR department of wherever they are, and is like, this fucking dude killed my family, and he left, and the guy's like, well, why would I believe you? You're a convict. You have no fucking say in this.
While holding the baby, while
That was,
holding the
yeah,
fucking
also,
dead baby in her arms.
Yeah, a lot of dead
Yeah.
baby. But right before that, when she was and up until that point, I mean, I know she's angry, but like every time she was like, where did he go? And they're like, bitch, we're not gonna tell you shit. And then she just goes, where did I go? And they're like, all right, we'll tell you. And then she does that 3 times. She just escalates her voice a little bit, and then people give her what she wants. I thought that was a little stupid, but
She's scary,
Well,
dude.
they're empathetic with her dead baby. I think that's why.
Yeah,
That's
try saying no to a
that's
woman carrying a
100%
dead,
why.
an
She's got
angry
a
woman
dead
carrying a dead
baby.
baby.
And she looks like she's just got
care
the
about
shit
her.
kicked out of her.
They didn't really care about her. They didn't give a shit. There was one lady
mean-
that cared about the dead baby.
I mean, the guy who gave her the info was a little empathetic with the dead baby there. That's why he gave her the info.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe.
the only guy she talked to. The only guy she talked to about it.
No, she goes up to all of her maid friends first.
And they cared. The one lady fucking
one
cried
lady
and
was
helped her.
that's who I'm talking about. One lady was crying.
And there was a
Yeah,
guy
but
that
that
was like,
lady-
you got to hire a tracker, you got to do this. He was
Yeah,
kind of
because
trying to help her out.
those 2 people were also being held as prisoners. That's why
Right,
those were also
right.
prisoners. Yeah, so they were much more empathetic than most people. And that's the thing about this movie that I think is, I mean, I listened to Jennifer Kent talk about it, and that was the point of this movie, is showing how fucked up like people are to each other for apparently no reason, but because they can be. You know what I mean? It's trying to show how people should be better to each other. What was I going to say? Yeah, I mean, this is definitely an original fucking take on it, in my opinion. I've never seen a movie like this before. Like I've seen a lot of revenge movies,
It's
but
very True Grit.
Yeah.
A girl gets on a horse and hires someone to go find somebody for revenge.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's
Like
not
True Grit meets Apocalypto.
well, it's True Grit in that element of it, but nothing else besides for what you just said is anything to do with True Grit. Like, it's much more visceral. It's much darker. True Grit's kind of like a
You just
PG-13
said you
version.
just said you never you like original takes, and it's not. This is just the same story kind of told over again.
Well, not really. I mean, True Grit's one other
Structurally.
thing that has. I mean, it's a revenge movie, so it's someone that's going to try to find the people who did their wrong, and
Yeah, focused
That's
on
what
a young
happens in every
woman who
revenge movie.
hires someone who knows the land, essentially. The 2 main
Yeah.
characters were very similar to the characters of True Grit. I think that's pretty undeniable. And it's just like the revenge, what she was after was different, of course, in those 2 movies, but structurally, them looking for someone, them searching the
So
land for some people.
So the 2 people who she's basically in with, that they were friends with, they tell her that she can't go by herself, and that they also won't help her, which is kind of devastating. But he does end up hooking her up with a tracker of her own, who is a younger dude who has nothing to do with her, but needs some cash, so decides to help her out. And what I think is cool about this movie too is that in the beginning, she's just as bad to him as everyone else is, and treating him like a terrible person, being racist and that shit. But they come to become friends because they realize that they've both been through some pretty heinous shit, and it gets the whole like empathy for other humans aspect out. That's what I think the movie's about. So they go, and these dudes are this dude's just fucking the man when it comes to tracking, which is crazy. Like, I thought it was pretty interesting how you can just look at tracks like that and know how long it's been and how many of them there are. That's pretty cool. I've never met anybody that can do that. Have you guys ever met anybody that can do that?
Rooster Cogburn in True Grit. He was pretty good at that.
Yeah, but have you met anybody that can do that?
Have I met any Native American trackers?
Any trackers in general?
Not personally, no.
I mean, we
I've-
don't
seen
I
them
wanna
done- I've seen
fucking
them
do that in
I wanna-
as
2022.
characters,
We have
yeah.
satellites.
Right.
Sure, but I'm sure there's still older people who are pretty good at that and do that for, if not fun, but for jobs to do that. You know.
In what
Yeah.
situation other than hunting? Hunters do that all the time.
Sure, there's a situation right there. I'm just saying, there's people that do that.
You
It'd
got
be cool
Lost.
to meet somebody that to
John,
do that.
John Locke and Lost. He could do it.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
really good.
yeah.
He was good at
Tracker.
it.
Except for when he was all wheelchaired up.
Right.
Spoiler.
But he could walk and Lost, so it's good to go. And yeah, probably Rooster Cogburn. I think you're right.
I think he did that in the other movie.
He would look at twigs and be like, "This was bent 45 minutes ago. See this dust? It's been misplaced. They're going."
Yeah, it'd be cool to meet someone who actually does that. That's interesting as fuck. Like, just to be able to learn how to do that. That'd be cool.
It would be. It's
Like, I want to know what the
Interesting
criteria is to
thing.
know like that kind of shit.
Spend some time in the woods, dog.
Yeah, sounds like a classic city boy question. Keep going.
Right. You've never even camped, have you?
Oh, you guys got more better answers?
I'm probably better at it than you, tracking wise.
Tracking?
Yeah, I'm probably better at tracking than you. Yeah,
Maybe like 2% better,
inch or a mile, baby.
Still better.
I guess.
Cool.
I mean,
So
I'd like to
we
know the
agree.
criteria of it.
Yeah, you
What was the
don't even know
criteria of tracking?
I couldn't
Do
explain. it to
You? I don't, because you don't know it.
It's
Remember-
following
remember what I
clues
said-
like a goddamn
yeah.
detective, like
Yeah.
a fucking jungle detective.
The broken twig, the misplaced dust.
Yeah, don't you
It's all
know?
there.
Blood.
I can make that shit up.
Follow-
It's all
blood.
there.
Yeah, it's all
I-
there. You can
People
see it as
like,
you
leave
walk.
shoes behind.
You just scan. You gotta have good vision. I don't have very good vision, so I might not be able to
Rock
pick up
stacks.
on the little things.
Rock stacks?
Just bent twigs, dude. Bent
Oh
twigs and
my
footprints,
God.
baby.
Bears claw trees.
Blood drops. Candy
Yeah.
wrappers.
Yeah.
Damn.
You guys don't know
so-
shit about
So
tracking.
we know way more than you, obviously.
We just
You
talked
guys
about
just
tracking
you
for
guys are just
5
naming
minutes.
things you can find in the woods. You know you didn't name how you use them to track.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
You
You
find
go
things,
one,
and then you follow them. You
and then it
fucking
goes,
idiot.
and then you track
So
it
you
to
say
another
the whole
thing.
thing of tracking is finding things first
Yeah.
and then tracking it.
And then you just make
So-
up arbitrary times, like this twig was bent 45 minutes ago.
Yeah. What don't you
Yeah.
understand?
I understand that you guys don't know any more than I do. That's what I
You can
understand.
tell by the particles are freshly broken, and the
See,
snap.
this is what we said. We can't explain it to you. You wouldn't understand.
It's way over your head, dude.
Way over your
Yeah.
head.
I guess so.
Just try
You guys
camping
are
once.
trackers.
Maybe you'll start figuring it out.
I love camping.
You've never camped a
I
day in your life.
never camped a day in your life.
I've camped at least 6 times, at minimum 6 times.
Okay, cool.
You've never
You
slept
camped 6
outside.
times. Good for
I've
you.
slept in a tent 6 times.
Good for
6
you.
times.
Yeah,
6
you're a
individual
regular
nights in
old
your life.
camper.
I mean, I didn't claim I was a camper, but you guys are saying I didn't camp. I'm telling you I did.
I'm claiming I know how to track really well,
And you don't.
or I could act like I
Yeah.
do.
You don't camp.
I think you
I've
and I
been
should
camping.
go
You
into
don't
the
track.
forest.
You could dodge a wrench. You could dodge a ball.
We should all go camping together and see
Yeah.
who dies first. I bet it'll be Schwartz.
100%, dude.
Why would we die camping?
I don't
I mean,
know.
we wouldn't.
Survival of fittest, dude.
Someone's got to eat.
Camping?
We got to eat,
Have you
dude.
guys ever been camping?
At least 7 times.
At
It's
least
not about
6
survival.
times.
It's about having fun in the wilderness.
I don't know. It depends on what kind of camping you do. That's why I don't
I
think
thought it
you've
was
been
about
camping.
survival. Yeah, it's about survival.
So every time you've
You
went
ain't never
camping, you've had to
survived?
survive.
You
Yeah,
ain't never survived.
you do it to
So
survive.
you guys camp like the Revenant style.
It's a test of
Fuck
will.
yeah. Prove
Will
prove you're
who?
a man, dude. Will Smith. I'll slap
Will
a
Smith?
bear.
All right, back to the movie. So
Think
they
about
Billy the Tracker.
they're after. Oh yeah, his name is Billy. So she convinces him that she's got to find her husband.
His
that
name's
I forget
Blackbird.
why. Well, that's his. Yeah, that's his. real
Yeah,
name.
I think
Billy
his
for sure.
White people call him Billy.
Yeah.
Why is
so
Blackbird
they-
racist?
No,
No.
Blackbird's just what he'd want to be called, and asshole people who kidnap him just won't call him that. I guess.
Because it was like a
They
weird
didn't
word that people
kidnap
don't know how
him,
to
They
pronounce.
enslaved him.
Yeah, even worse. You're right. I'm sorry.
Come into
You're right,
his
they enslaved
come into
him.
his land and enslave him.
True.
Which that scene when later on in the movie when he starts crying over that was pretty great scene. That was fucked up.
He was a
That's
good
one thing I
character.
liked. That's the one thing I liked about this. What I like about revenge movies in a lot of ways is that they make you feel a lot, like whether it be anger, whether it be sadness, whether it be empathy, whatever it be, is like they really make you feel it. Like the whole movie, I was like mad, I was like angry at everything that was going on, and I love when movies can do that to you. Whether you know what I mean, because you're like fuck, man, like fuck this shit. Like you're just like this is. You wish you could do something about it, you know, in that situation. It's fucked up. And I think that's what I enjoyed most about the movie is that it made me feel like that. Anyway, so she tells him that
It's nice to
that
feel
she needs
sometimes,
to.
huh, Schwartz?
Yeah, I like feeling physical, mental is good. Any more dumb comments, Fancy?
Not until you open your mouth again.
Ooh, good one. So they go after the dudes. She tells him it's her husband. She's got to find him. And like I said, she treats him like shit the first fucking whatever amount of time they're together. And then they start to bond slowly because they realize that they have more in common because they both had everything taken away from them. At this point, it cuts back and forth between the fucking lieutenant and his guys heading there and her trying to find him. And what actually fucking happens next? I don't even remember. Like what immediately happens?
There's a couple run-ins with some random people just to establish like that he is basically hated because of who he is, and that these people are just taking over the land and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So
A
they're
couple
kind of
more
like
rape scenes.
yeah. No, there's no more rape scenes. This is
Yeah,
where
there is.
this is where they
find
shipped into.
the
Oh, you're right.
Aboriginal girl and they
You're
rape
right.
her a bunch of times.
Oh, that was fucking crazy. That was the most fucked up part of the movie, in my opinion, was that whole shit. When they take her from her kid and everything, that was crazy.
I don't know. I thought the baby getting murdered was the most fucked up part, but that's just me.
Yeah, it's an easy way to win audiences.
Killing babies.
Killing babies.
I mean, it was fucked up, but I think seeing the little kid get his mom taken away it hit me a little harder.
Yeah, it was definitely rough.
Yeah, let's compare which ones. Let's compare the roughest scenes in this movie. Which one affected you the most?
I think it was that one, the Aborigine scene when they take the woman. For
Okay,
sure.
We don't need to rehash it. Let's go.
Fuck man, I totally forgot exactly what happens.
Yeah, it's not a real exciting movie.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think excitement is what they were going for.
Yeah, once they get into the woods.
I mean, it's definitely memorable. There's a lot of memorable shit in this movie.
As you are Googling what the story's about right now.
I'm not Googling shit. I'm looking at my notes.
Well, it's kind of the movie's it goes back and forth with between following the group of soldiers, which are the rapers, and then it follows Claire and Billy or Blackbird through their journey. Kind of goes back and forth between them. They're trying to track them down. They eventually. How does that one dude get separated? Like they come across one of the guys because she does kind of early on kill that one dude. She shoots him and then
so they
and then that's before Billy knows what she's really all about. At that point, Billy thought she was just trying to meet up with her husband, and he even said like, "If that's your husband, you need to find a new one." And then he kind of wants to walk away from the whole situation. He's almost like, "Fuck this lady, she's crazy." And then she reasons with him and explains like what actually happened, what actually went down.
She said, what it's like for a white man to take everything from you.
Yeah, they're bond through their traumas. They're bonded through just exactly the white man doing shit to them and taking away things from them.
She also made it clear to him that she wasn't British. She was from Ireland, not. And that he hates British. And then he was just like, yeah, whatever. All you fucking white people are the same.
Right. I like the fact that the one dude that she does actually kill is the dude that killed her baby. Like she fucking got revenge on that dude real fucking hard. Like the way he went out was pretty awesome. Because she doesn't end up killing the other two guys herself, but the dude that killed her baby.
I think she realizes after killing that one dude that it's not worth it. That the revenge isn't worth it anyway.
For sure. But she's
further traumatized by that. She starts to have nightmares of it. Like throughout the movie, it's showing like her nightmares, and she definitely has nightmares after she murders this guy. So
The nightmares were pretty
vengeance,
cool.
Is her vengeance really worth her trauma? You know, it's hard to say. But
I liked the
It's
nightmare
not.
scenes. I thought
She
they were pretty
decided it was
dope.
not as well.
I thought the nightmare scenes were fun. They were cool because I remember that when the first one happened, I was like, oh shit, like that was actually pretty fucking freaky. I like the way they filmed the forest and everything too. Looks like a very
Yeah.
old time movie. And I think the aspect ratio was 4:3. But I'm not
Yeah.
sure though because I watched this on my phone, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
It's
think-
it was close to 4. I don't think it was 4:3, but it was definitely I think I heard him say it was shot like Academy scope or whatever. Is that a thing?
Yeah, something like that. I heard that as well. I don't remember. I don't know what exactly it is, but I mean, if anything, it's closest to 4:3. Like it was clearly not
Definitely,
like
definitely wasn't. The Academy ratio is 1.375 to 1. It's the Academy ratio.
Okay,
I
which
don't know
doesn't
why,
feel far off from 4:3, but yeah, so it's pretty similar to that.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm sure that was just to get the time of it. You know what I mean? Back then, but I mean, I guess that's why.
It was a
So yeah, so
standard
as
film ratio in 1932. Yeah.
Maybe
so
so
the
they could
lieutenant's got
focus on the people, because a lot of them, there was a lot of close-ups of faces. Maybe it was just so you can kind of more focus on that. It's more about the human than it is like the atmosphere, I think, in a way.
yeah.
Where the
But they
atmosphere, I think, did play a
there
part,
were-
but I
yeah.
think it was more about the human than the characters. That's my
There were
thought
some
about
great
that.
landscape shots though too. Like there were some awesome fucking landscape shots in that
True.
aspect ratio. Like it really set up like the tone of everything, which I love that.
There was a lot of looking straight up in the forest, which is always an interesting point of view.
Yeah. That scene when the Aboriginal lady was getting raped and she's staring at the stars and she's like praying, that was pretty fucked, man. That hit me pretty hard. I was like, God damn.
Did you at any point where you like, man, I got to stop picking movies with so much rape in it?
No, because I don't pick movies because there's rape in it. I pick movies because I like the story and I like the characters. It just happens to have that stuff in it. I mean,
You just
that's
like fucked
the
up
truth.
things and fucked up people.
I do. I like movies about fucked up characters and fucked up situations. I think they're interesting. So this dude is traveling. The dude who she's searching for is traveling with other people now that he recruits. It's his main guy, the two main guys who helped do it. We forgot to say this, and then the little kid. I wanted to add the little kid Eddie that they found because that scene was also pretty fucking crazy.
Why was the kid in there? I couldn't really figure that out, or I couldn't really remember. Like, why was there?
I think they hired him. I think they just hired him to help them go because the two other dudes that were with him were convicts.
What's a fucking little kid gonna do? Like, well, how is that helpful?
Was the kid not a convict too? He wasn't. He wasn't.
He wasn't. He was in some way.
One of the.
He had to be.
Just one of the fucking slave people that they have.
Yeah, he had to be. Otherwise, why would he be there? You're right. There's no reason for him to be there. So
the kid was there because, or like they had like they had those three like not ideal people because somebody else was building a bridge or something. Like all the good convicts were building a bridge or building a wall or something. He said early on.
Yeah, he did say that. You're right.
And did they just need the extra people for like protect? Like I get why they hired the Aboriginal for a guy, but why did they have to bring in?
They were
like,
hauling a bunch of shit around.
That kind of
they were hauling their shit.
Labor. Okay.
Yeah.
Pack mules.
Gotcha.
So anyway, I guess we're past that part now. Anyway. So they end up catching up with them. Well, actually, after they kidnapped the Aboriginal lady, her tribe comes and ambushes them and injures the dude who killed her kid. And because they injure him, they leave him behind. And they catch up with him, and she ends up stabbing him like repeatedly and fucking getting revenge, but realizing that, like we said, that revenge isn't going to satisfy her and that she's not really built for that. She's just a normal person who doesn't really want to be out there fucking killing people. She's just pissed and traumatized because of what happened to her. So even in that though, she still decided to keep going because I guess because she still can't just let it go. You know what I mean? She decides that she's going to keep going with it. That is what happens, right? There's no other reason why they keep going.
I don't think it's.
I think so.
They just never stop. I don't think she never says like this isn't for me or anything. She never says anything like that. We don't really, and we don't really see that is 100% now like a thing until she tries to kill the next person. I think can't, right? Just doesn't.
But don't you think the nightmares are kind of that though too? The nightmares are kind of
it's
hey, like
she's dancing with everyone she killed.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's the aid of the nightmares. It's just the helping get in her head of that she's having doubts. Like now it's established that she's having doubts of what she's been doing, which yet they still continue because she
Yeah.
still wants I guess she
And
still thinks she wants revenge, but she's just having
She
second
wants
thoughts.
revenge. You ever heard of that band? She Wants Revenge.
yeah,
No, is that
It's a
actually a
good
band?
I have.
Yeah, Google it.
Kind of
Google
cool
it.
name.
Whatever. Look it up. Spotify that shit. She Wants Revenge.
All right.
And this is where Billy also finds out her true motives after she kills this guy, because he's like, "Yo, if that was your husband, you need to get a new husband or whatever." And
Yeah,
then
she
he
didn't tell him because
empathizes.
he wouldn't have helped her if he knew that he was about to go kill a bunch of fucking British people. But
Yeah, and then he starts to empathize with her, and he tells her that his people are dead too.
and he not only that, he lost a lot more than she did.
Yeah, he lost his whole fucking tribe. Really, I think he's the last one, right? We find that out.
And he might have been raped too.
Maybe.
I think they said he's at that point is like the last of the men of his tribe, other than I think Charlie, who's the guy that
Yeah.
was helping the other crew out.
Yeah. So Charlie's navigating.
Was Charlie even a part of his tribe? Or was he a different?
Yeah, he said to her
so.
that's like it's his uncle, but not like blood uncle. Like he was like a tribe guy who he just called his uncle. He was like an elder person of his tribe.
They were boys.
So yeah. So as that happens, as after they kill this dude, Charlie, the guy we're talking about, he leads the other group to a place that they don't want to go. He leads them to the top of a mountain where they're gonna have to fucking figure out how to get fucking down there, and fucking numbnuts with him.
And he does this because of the whole rape thing.
Because of what they did to the other woman. Yeah. And I think
there were shots of him
Charlie left
reacting
him in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, he charged in the middle of nowhere, and then he gets shot, and he gets shot by the dude who shot him is the guy who plays Charlie Manson in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't know if you guys realize that.
I did not realize that.
I didn't realize that,
Yeah.
but I figured it out after.
Yeah, that's him. I was like, how do I know this dude? And then I was like, I know this dude from somewhere. I was like, oh, that's the dude from fucking Once Upon a Time. He also played Charlie Manson in Mindhunter too, which I didn't know. That I didn't know.
Yeah, he actually talks in Mindhunter as Manson.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, they leave him. He dies, and they have to figure out how to get back. So that's another part of the movie where we really like not that this guy is evil for what he did to her and like you've seen him do, but the whole thing about turning on his own men too is where you realize that he is just a fucking terrible person. Like he's not just doing this to the other people that he like, either whether it be the convicts or the Aborigines, he's doing this to his own people too, where he fucking almost kills the dude and makes the kid like gives the kid his rank and tells him that if he fucks up, he's got to kill him, which is like he's trying to like groom this kid to be another fucking terrible person. This guy's just the embodiment of fucking horribleness and evil. You know what I mean? There's no getting past that. He's not doing this because he feels like he has to do it for his country. He enjoys being a fucking scumbag.
He's like Jason Isaacs in The Patriot.
Yeah, oh my god, that's a good fucking movie. Dude.
That's what this movie's True Grit and The Patriot. I said True Grit and Apocalypto, another Mel Gibson classic, but maybe this is a little
my second favorite Mel Gibson movie.
Second favorite Mel Gibson movie. Jake, what's your favorite Mel Gibson movie?
Payback.
Good movie.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
a good one.
Nice choice. Not a directed movie, but
he didn't direct it, but a good one
in that movie.
Okay.
I did not specify.
I didn't realize what the context of the question was.
My bad, dude. I'll write it down next time and mail it to you.
I mean, we did talk about the movies that he directed. Anyway, all right.
I would have guessed. I would have knew what I was talking about, but you know.
Did he direct The Patriot?
No, that was Roland Emmerich.
So what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, Anthony, you thought he directed that?
In my head, he directed The Patriot. Yeah.
Okay. No, Roland Emmerich directed that. Same guy who directed Independence Day.
Good movie.
Great movie. The Patriot is definitely Roland Emmerich's best film, though. Like he made like Independence Day, Day After Tomorrow.
Did we watch a Roland Emmerich movie?
We haven't, but we should watch The Patriot. That's a fucking great movie, dude. That's a heavy one.
The Patriot, Jake.
It's been a long time for me.
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not even sure if I've seen. I know I've seen some of it, but I don't know if I've seen it from front to back.
Oh shit!
I don't remember. It's been quite a long time.
Ding ding ding.
there's a point where Jason Isaacs goes, "Stupid boy," and it's like heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't
It
even
is.
remember Jason Isaacs in it,
Yeah.
so that'll tell you how
Do
much.
you know who Jason Isaacs is, Jake?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's
That's
fucking
awesome.
he's
That's awesome.
fucking Lucius Malfoy.
I don't know who that
I
is,
think
but
I do.
cool.
You've seen Harry Potter.
I don't know that character though.
In my
You
head,
have
Oh,
Jason
yeah,
Isaacs.
Yeah, I do know you're talking about. He's that dude's dad, right? The fucking
Yeah, he's
the,
Draco's
yeah,
dad. His
the
name's
fucking albino kid.
Lucius. I don't think they're
Okay.
albino.
Actually, I just saw a really good Jason Isaacs
Albino
movie. He
kid.
was in Mass.
albino.
Did you ever watch Mass? It's
Mass?
basically just a
Mask?
conversation. It's Mass, MASS.
No.
It's basically
No.
one long conversation about between two couples about some fucked up shit that happened with their kids, but it's quite well.
What?
Oh.
sounds
Done.
like Carnage. Sounds like that's Polanski movie Carnage.
It's like Carnage, but not funny. It's like, well, Carnage it's like Carnage to another extreme. But I agree with you. When I saw what it was, I'm like, this reminds me of Carnage, but it's a whole different tone
pronounced
to it.
Carnage.
Yeah, it's a whole different tone. But it's interesting. It's a very, very, very well acted movie. I saw it on the plane the other day, and it was pretty interesting to watch.
You were on an airplane.
I was on an airplane.
Wild. What
Jason-
happened to their kid?
I'll say it's school shooting related
Oh shit.
without giving too much away.
You said mass. I was thinking church, but now I'm thinking mass
Well,
shooting.
I think mass that word has a lot because it does. Their conversation takes place at a church, so your head goes there at first, and then just there's a lot of and then mass, like how something sits with you. You know, there's a lot of
mass on that.
a lot of ways you could interpret the title,
Scientifically.
which I thought was good. And oddly enough, was written and directed. Remember the stoner guy in Cabin in the Woods? That character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That guy wrote and directed it, which I was shocked by when I googled it. I'm like, this is the fucking stoner guy in that movie.
Did he make any other movies?
No, it was his directorial debut.
What year was this movie?
Last year, I think. Maybe within
Okay.
the last
Jason-
couple of years.
Jason Isaacs is one of those character actors that pops up in movies and just kills it and everything. He's just like,
Yeah.
oh, there's that guy, and he's just awesome.
He was really good. I mean, it mostly was just 4 people in this movie with like a couple other side people within, but it was mostly just
Oh.
these 4, and they were all really great.
That's another thing I wanted to ask you guys about. So this character in this movie, the lieutenant, the guy everyone despises, what are some other characters from movies that you can compare to him? And I have a couple. I have Sam Rockwell from Green Mile. Sorry, my voice guy from Green Mile. I got Harvey Keitel and Bad Lieutenant. But what else? What other characters you got that are just like
I'd say,
like
Christoph Waltz in *Inglourious Bastards*, because he's just ruthless pretty much the whole time.
yeah. Unfortunately,
Pretty despicable.
though, he doesn't get painted as like he is despicable, but he's also has like comedic relief at times, which lightens it a little bit. You know what I mean? Which
He's
is kind of a
so
weird
goddamn
thing.
good.
But he is despicable. Yeah, he is.
He
He
is.
is. You're right. I'll give you
He's
that.
so
though.
goddamn good at his job that you
Yeah.
gotta respect him.
Yeah. What about you, Anthony? What character you have that you're just like, fuck this dude? Like, there's nothing redeeming.
Yeah, I said Jason Isaacs in The Patriot. And he's
Okay, yeah,
he's
okay, you
pretty
did say that.
fucking- He's a pretty despicable dude.
I guess you can also say Daniel Plainview and There Will Be Blood.
Really?
He's up there. I mean, he's pretty. I mean, yeah, he's pretty despicable. I mean, he ends up killing
I feel
Eli.
like
Does kill
he
some
just
people.
loses it in
Mhm.
the end of that movie. We see him grow old. I feel like he just ends up losing it. I don't feel like
So you don't think he was that way the whole time?
He was pretty bad, dude.
He's not
Like,
a great.
He's
He
pretty
wasn't a
bad
great
dude.
guy, but he wasn't like that caliber. Although you put that kind of guy in the time where you can get away with that kind of shit back in the day, I don't know, maybe. And then give
Yeah.
him like I don't know. You never know. It doesn't say I wouldn't. You know, I feel like this guy did a lot more despicable shit than Daniel Plainview.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. He wasn't out there raping people. You're
I
right.
didn't see his day to day.
I mean, I think Calvin Candy can be put in that category
He's
from
bad.
Django.
right.
Yeah, and I also
But again,
think
the comedic the comedic relief is exactly that. It's relief. This guy had no relief.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Also,
Harry
what's it-
from
fuck,
Home
who's the other
Alone,
person I was gonna name?
probably.
What?
Harry from Home Alone.
Harry?
Yeah, dude.
Pesci's character?
Yeah, Pesci's character. That guy was menacing as
mean,
fuck.
kind of Bateman-y too, right?
Unforgivable.
Sure. I guess Joe Pesci in Casino.
Joe Pesci and Goodfellas as well.
Yeah,
Anything
but
played
he
by
was
Joe Pesci
he
ever
was
is
he
similar
was
to this.
he was
Joe
more he
Pesci
was
would
more
have killed
ruthless.
this role.
He was more ruthless in Casino than he was in Goodfellas. I feel like in Goodfellas he was like
Imagine Joe
on
Pesci
the
in this
come
role.
up.
Imagine Joe Pesci riding horses.
These cocksucker motherfuckers.
Joe Pesci's feet would be 8 feet off the ground if he was on a horse.
There's a you ever watch Get Shorty?
And he's like 80 years old now.
Have you ever seen Get Shorty?
I don't
Yeah.
fucking
No,
remember.
actually, no. I don't think I've seen Get
Not
Shorty.
sure if I have.
Danny DeVito plays like he's supposed to play like an actor, and he plays Napoleon, and like he's got to get on a horse, and they just make fun of him the whole time for trying to get on a horse. It's so fucking funny. It's so good. We got to watch Get Shorty. That's a great movie. And also, have you guys seen 12 Years a Slave? Because Michael Fassbender's character in that movie is probably even more despicable than this guy in this movie.
I haven't watched
Oh,
that
yeah.
movie. That movie just
That
seems
fucking
rough.
it's rough, dude. It's rough.
Real
It's
rough.
just as rough, if not more rough, than this film.
Yeah.
I think it's
All right.
it's got one of my favorite
white guilt has
sequences.
kept me away from that one.
What sequence, Jake?
Honestly, just the way it was shot and the acting within.
When he's hung.
No, when I think he's getting someone's getting whipped.
Oh
it's
yeah,
like-
Lupita
it's like-
Nyong'o.
Yeah, and it's like a one shot of like going back and forth between the two characters, and it's just this one really long take.
Yeah,
and just
You talking about 12 Years a Slave?
Yeah.
There is a scene in that movie that I've seen of somebody getting hung, and
Yeah,
or hanged,
it's
and
the
then,
main
like,
character.
People are just walking around the back. It's just like a static shot of it.
Yep, and he doesn't die. He gets saved from it, but it's literally just everyone walking around acting like it's nothing going on. You know, it's crazy. Michael, that movie. I don't know how Fassbender didn't win an Oscar for that movie because he was an absolute fucking tour de force of scumbaggery. Maybe that's why. Maybe it was too much.
Did Lupita win? I think Lupita got
She
an
did.
Oscar.
Lupita won an Oscar for it. Yeah, she deserved the fuck out of
She
that.
did.
Dude.
She was
so good.
I think that sequence I referred to, it was like enough for her
Yeah.
to fucking win an Oscar.
That was one of the most heartbreaking scenes in the history of film. Is when like she's begging him to like kill her or take her with him, and he doesn't. It's like, wow, dude, that's fucking crazy.
Ugh,
Craziness.
We should make Anthony watch it. No, I don't know if I'd want to watch that again. I think I've seen it.
Yeah,
twice.
it's pretty fucked up. It's pretty fucked up. All right,
sick fuck.
So
I don't know.
Yeah. I've also seen it twice.
Again.
I saw it in the movies and I watched it on video. I think when it came out.
Yeah, same.
I like that director though. Director makes pretty great movies.
Who's the director?
British dude. Fuck's his name?
Steven something.
Yeah, Steven.
He's got the same name as an action guy from the past.
Oh yeah, Steve. The fucking famous dude from that was
Steve
DiCaprio's.
McQueen.
Steve McQueen. Yeah,
Steve
Steve McQueen. Yeah.
Not the actor Steve McQueen, but a different
Great
guy,
name.
Steve McQueen.
Great name for a movie.
I thought it was the actor Steve McQueen when I first saw, or I don't know if I first saw this, but when I saw the name like listed, I was like, Steve McQueen directed that? I was surprised.
Posthumously?
Clearly,
the ghost of Steve McQueen is a great director. All right, so back to the movie. So after they kill the old dude, the tracker.
In 1980. Sorry, go ahead.
The old dude tracker, Claire, which is the main character, her and Billy find the tracker, the old guy, and that's when he starts to grieve a lot more and decide that now he's all in for helping her find these people because now he wants revenge on them. And that's when he performs a ritual from his native land, and which was a pretty cool scene. That was pretty dope, I thought. And so they go out to catch up with these people.
Their like call. I don't know. They did it when they were coming in to attack the
bird call, right?
when they were coming in, like when they were doing that shit. That'd be pretty terrifying if I was walking through the woods and I just heard that from all directions. And then he was doing that while he was when he was doing his like ceremony for Charlie.
Yeah. Yeah, just being in lands like that, not knowing like who, like what's out there would just be terrifying. Like that's just like exploring new places. That's just scary in itself. not knowing what you're gonna come across. Like another thing about movies like that take place in these time periods is that like you feel lucky not to have lived during those times. Like I don't feel like there was much joy during those times. There was a lot of work and a lot of death and a lot of just bad shit going on. Well, I'm not saying it doesn't happen today, but we're a little more civilized today, thank God. You know what I mean? There's a little more civility in the world.
Definitely more civilized, but they also only knew what they knew. It's not like they knew air conditioning or anything like that.
Sure, but what I mean by
They didn't know
civilized is the way
Netflix.
people treat other people. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit better today. Like there's a little bit more compassion today.
Yeah,
Not saying
it's
it
a little
doesn't
bit
happen.
better. It's a little bit better.
It's
in
a little bit
Sherman
better.
Oaks.
Like we have indoor plumbing. Pretty sick.
Yeah, sure.
Pretty great.
Yeah, but also
So I
like
can take a
there's,
shower and a shit, and I don't have to make a whole big thing out of it.
there's still the
Yeah.
human slave trade in Africa going on right now.
Certainly.
Yeah, no, there is.
Yeah.
There is. Yeah. Yeah. There is.
There's a lot of fucked up
Shit.
still,
There's
of course.
still kids slave labor, children labor, and making Nikes in China.
You're right. The world's still fucked up. Fuck this place. I hate this place. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Basically,
And I
it's
think,
just
like,
air conditioning.
Go air conditioning and indoor plumbing.
Pretty
Ah,
sick.
I pee outside all the time.
I do too. I love peeing outside. I don't shit outside too much, but I do pee outside.
I shit outside. I'll shit on your lawn.
I mean, I've shit outside before. I've done it at least 4 or 5
If
times.
Schwartz had a lawn, I'd probably shit on it at least like once a week.
That'd be awesome. I would love to see you shit on
Like,
my lawn. I would make a video of
this
it.
dog. This is a vegan dog. What
Is
do
this
your
a
shits
vegan
look
dog?
like?
Real clean bell movements for a dog.
You just have like what do your shits look? Are they green?
Rock hard, baby.
Rock hard? That's not good.
What? I thought it was good.
Remember Cartman when he was like started eating healthy and he was just like, man, it's crazy. Something's wrong with me. My shits are just coming out like long, smooth tubes. He's like usually just splattering it out all over the thing. He was worried because he had normal shits. Great show, Cartman. I need to get caught up on that.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Streaming Wars?
I haven't.
Dude's
I thought you
Paramount
watched it
Plus
that
has been
day.
broken
Didn't you
for
watch it
6
that day?
months.
Did I? I don't think I did. No, I did not.
Oh, you would
Oh,
remember
I fell
because it's
asleep.
pretty hilarious.
Wasn't your Paramount fucked up or something? Or is it fucked up still?
Something fucked up with my Paramount.
Still?
I don't know. I haven't checked.
All right,
in a
let's
while.
finish this. Let's finish the story here.
Just uninstall.
All right,
dude.
so
Go on.
So after they do the ritual for Charlie, they come across the people they're looking for from a distance, and Claire, like a moron, stands up and thinks she's going to shoot this dude, but decides she can't because she doesn't have it in her. So she gets shot, and they have to run away. And this is when the lieutenant realizes that she's there. So he's like, we got to go fucking find them. And he does want the Billy to help track. So Billy and Claire split up. She says she's gonna hide while he goes and gets her horse, because it's the only thing she has left of her husband, and wants to take it with her. And I'm sure Billy just kind of thinks maybe they can eat the fucking horse eventually because they're gonna need food. So he goes and finds the horse, and then the lieutenant and his men find him and make him help them track to where they want to go. And then
What a crazy thing that is always a tension builder in these types of movies is how long it takes for one to reload a gun.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Like shooting someone and it not killing them, and then having to it takes a good 30 seconds to a minute to reload your gun, and then hopefully it functions because it's fucking 1500s and shit gets wet.
Muskets.
Muskets, dude. Anyway.
Which that's another thing too. It's like obviously this is what the closer you are with a musket, the better damage it's going to do.
Better damage,
because you see that
those guns are not accurate in any way.
Exactly,
they're like shitty shotguns.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he got her in the arm from that distance.
Yeah, he's probably aiming for.
He's trained. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But in distance, you're shooting like a fucking round, the size of probably a half-inch round piece of lead. If that, it's just a mini cannon. That thing hits you close enough, you're gonna get fucked up.
Yeah. So as they're tracking back to the main path, they get to the path, and the fucking lieutenant tells the little kid who's basically not his little protege or wants to be his little protege that he's got to kill him, and the kid doesn't want to kill him because he's not an evil person, and he hesitates and ends up firing the gun but doesn't hit him. So basically the lieutenant's like, you know what, fuck you, get out of here. I'm gonna fucking, when I get to town, I'm gonna tell them there's a little fucking thief running around, they're gonna come get you. Little kid, being a little kid, is like, man, don't leave me here, please. I'll give me another chance, give me a chance. And the fucking guy kills the little kid.
Yeah.
Just shoots him with no regard. There's no regard. And this kid's a white dude, so obviously they don't give a. It's not just because he's not. It doesn't not because he's a colonizer. It's because he's a total
He
scumbag.
just doesn't like annoying kids.
They killed a baby
Who
earlier.
does?
Well, I wasn't
kill
too
everybody.
surprised when after
Oh,
multiple
I
rapes
saw
and a
that
baby
coming
death,
100%.
The only difference is, Jake. The only difference is, Jake, is that the baby wasn't killed maliciously. As weird as that sounds, he was doing it because he's a fucking moron and couldn't do something better. Like this dude, if the lieutenant would definitely have killed that baby like maliciously, like fuck this baby and shot it. You know what I mean? That's the only.
He was
about to, exactly. Either way, that baby was
going
to
to. But his dumb sidekick just smashed against the wall. Sure, like that guy.
To kill a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
A little too easy.
Waste of good baby.
Okay, so at this point,
Maybe
Claire.
If they were stronger.
Yeah, why wasn't that
point,
baby just a little stronger, like Jake said?
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't eating vegan.
Probably.
You guys see that documentary, or not?
Milk.
You see, not a documentary. You guys hear about that lady who like didn't feed her kid real food? Well, not like baby food, and was giving him fucking all vegan shit, and it died, and she went to jail.
I don't think that's real. I think you just made that up.
No, that is real. Google it. It just happened. Happened in the last couple of years. A lady was giving her kid all vegan food, and she went to jail for it. This kid was like tiny too, like a child.
I don't believe you.
Google it.
I don't want to Google that.
Google dead baby vegan, dude.
You don't want to put the badness on the vegan name. That's just dumb, though.
Google baby dies from vegan diet. See what you find.
All right. So at this point, after that happens, this dude's helping them track.
Vegan. Shout out to Joelle.
Does she only feed it vegan food?
No, it's not vegan.
Well,
savage.
Why the fuck would you bring that up?
Because she's vegan. I'm saying, like,
I didn't know she was vegan.
Is your cat vegan?
No.
Damn, you give your cat wet food?
You kill animals for your cat?
I don't kill animals for my cat.
But you give your cat
animals for the cat?
Food.
No. Cats are natural carnivores. They have to eat that. They have to eat something.
I'm a natural carnivore.
I think babies do too, honestly.
You're an herbivore.
No, I'm not. Don't tell me what I am.
Or not herbivore. I'm sorry, omnivore.
That's cool.
You have a choice.
Oh yeah. You're right.
Cats don't got a choice.
Cats.
Doesn't choice.
Also, cats are murking things left and right. We talk about this.
Yeah, cats are killers.
Cats are just as bad as the main character in this movie. Every single one.
If Jake's cat was bigger than him, Jake'd be dead.
For sure.
Oh,
big cats are scary.
That's the one thing.
Also, shout out to the big cat.
Also, you said
I'm working with the big cat right now.
Fuck the big cat.
Must be nice.
The only thing dogs have over cats is if you were to die, a dog wouldn't eat you. A cat would.
Exactly.
Yeah, probably. No, dogs are like look up to you when cats think you work for them.
I don't like that description either. That makes me not want to have a cat.
Cats are interesting creatures.
All right, let's finish this. I don't
think there should be a cat person or a dog person. I think I'm both. I like cats. I like dogs.
I agree with you there.
Sweet, we agree. All right, so this guy kills the kid.
Cat guy or dog guy?
This guy kills the kid.
You had a cat.
Both. Let's finish this. I gotta go soon, guys. We gotta finish this.
Where you going?
So he kills the kid to work. I gotta go to work. So this guy kills the kid and takes. Oh my God. You guys want to do this?
If I worked with a big cat, I'd be excited. I'd be happy. But go on.
I'll stop if you guys want to finish.
Oh, you can finish.
No, don't stop. We need to finish.
You got to finish.
I do have to pee, so hurry up.
Hurry up, dude. You got to go to work soon. We got to pee, and you got to go to work. Let's do it.
Waiting on Jorts.
We're ready.
Okay, so little kid dies, and now the fucking dude's helping them get to the mainland or to the city they got to get to. And this is where. So wait,
Dude,
so
Billy.
so after the kid dies, Billy runs away and he gets away, and he meets back up with Claire because she's hitchhiking a ride on the back of a wagon that a lady feels sympathy for, so she lets her come, and she sees Billy, and then Billy and her are walking back to the main village where they come across like a chain gang of people, and and she acts like he's her prisoner, and then he starts speaking the native language to his people, and they tell him that all his people are done, like his specific tribe, like his immediate family, I would say, are dead. Like he knows that he's seen it happen. So and then Billy tells this guy that he's seen this other dude's main tribe, they're dead too. So they realize that all their people are dead, and that the one dude in the chain gang freaks the fuck out and is like starts talking in his native language about how fucking all these colonists are terrible and how they ruin everything. So they fucking shoot them all. They kill them. They just shoot them all on sight, and they take their heads as trophies. They behead them. We don't see it, thank God. I mean, that would have been crazy. I've seen beheadings; they're pretty terrible. Yeah, I mean, I've seen actual beheadings, which are fucking terrible. And
yeah, we all grew up in the 90s.
Yeah, beheadings are crazy. And
what's your favorite beheading video?
I mean, I don't have a favorite. I probably watched at least 5 or 6. They're pretty terrible.
I don't think I have. What the fuck?
Did you watch them every time you went camping?
No, I did not go
One
watch
per camping trip.
I watched them on 4chan, I think.
Dude, they were on YouTube back in the day when YouTube was a little looser with their findings. I mean, not even back in the day. It wasn't even that long ago. A couple years ago, ISIS was putting shit on YouTube.
Yeah, they started beheading that guy, and that was a fucked up scene, man. That was really feel for Billy in that moment.
And that's what, like I said, that's what this movie is. You're supposed to. It's just showing you to be empathetic to people, even for your differences. You know what I mean?
And so clearly that and the Charlie situation that really triggers Billy. Like now, Billy's all on board with the fucking revenge. I think.
Oh yeah, he wants revenge for sure. So they end up coming across a older couple who take sympathy on them, and they let them come in and sleep in their house and give them food and a new pair of clothes. She gets a new dress. He gets a new jacket. And this is where Billy starts like weeping, which is, I think, my favorite scene in the movie because of how powerful it was. And he just realized he's sitting at a table with 4 other white people.
No, he was sitting on the ground, and the guy they were all eating their food, and the guy walks over to him reluctantly. He grabs his food and he says, "Come and eat the table with the rest of us." And he goes up there, sits down, and then he starts crying because he's fucking. That's probably. Doesn't happen a lot for Billy.
No, that's the nicest thing that's happened to him by these people that aren't his people. You know what I mean? He's being treated as an equal, and I think that's why he's
like, maybe these people are fucked up too.
Yeah, that's another thing. As I was thinking, I was like, man, I hope these people just aren't kidnapping these people to fucking eat them or something. It was pretty wild.
Book of Eli style.
Oh god, that's the only dystopian movie that I actually really love. The Book of Eli is a great fucking movie. So this dude starts crying.
Kind of a dystopian movie.
Yeah, I mean, it has the feel of it. The feel of just not.
It's a post-apocalyptic and pre-history.
Yeah, it's pre-apocalyptic. I guess
this is how we would be living if all the nukes went off.
Yeah, I'm so glad I don't live in these old times, man. That would have sucked.
Yeah, but nukes can go off at any point, man.
That's true.
We're close, dude. Putin's over there losing a war and got his finger on the
trigger.
So
they get.
Yeah.
So both parties reach the town of Launceston. It's called. I just have that in my notes. I saw it. They get there, and this is where the movie gets weird for me. Like, I did not see the rest of it going the way it went like this, and I was kind of like, "What the fuck is going to happen now?" Another thing I should say is this movie could have definitely been 20 minutes shorter. I think if this movie was about 20 to 25 minutes shorter, it would have been a little bit, not that it wasn't good or entertaining, but I think it would have been a little bit easier to digest.
Yeah,
I think it
could have cut the fat out a little bit.
Long time in the woods.
I think the dream sequences, there was a few too many of those. I think 1 or 2 of those would have done too. I think they just kind of, because they never get different. You know what I mean? It's kind of the same thing. She sees the people that she sees her kids, she sees her husband. They don't really ever deliver a different message in later sequences. It's always the same thing in each sequence, which I like the way that like the sequences were shot, because I think it was creepy and that the visuals were awesome, but they just kind of did the same thing every time. So anyway, they get to the town and they see the lieutenant and his people. And at this point, the lieutenant's talking to the guy he's been trying to talk to, and the guy's like, "All right, cool, meet me for dinner later, and we'll fucking discuss what you want to discuss." So she sees them meet up,
The
and
lieutenant also he takes credit for being able to track his way through the woods.
that too, yeah, that
Oh,
too.
yeah.
He was like, "Man, I can't believe you made it here."
Scumbag.
And he's like, "Yeah, I've been able to live amongst these people, so I picked up their skills and all that shit." And you're just like, "Motherfucker." So anyway, she confronts him in the meeting of him meeting his superior, and basically just says, "Listen, if when you're done raping and pillaging everything you can and being an absolute scumbag in every way you can, I hope you fucking die." And then she sings a song to him, basically to declare that he's not taken the joy from her that he hopes he has, or whatever the fuck that was supposed to. What do you guys think that was supposed to represent? That song, just that like she's alive and fuck him, like she's gonna keep singing.
That was
Is
her
that
revenge.
what she was doing?
I think so.
Right? That
Yeah.
was what that was.
Because
Yeah.
she
public
decided
publicly shame him.
Yeah,
then-
she decided, and she did. She publicly
Yeah.
she like there was a lot of people in there that were like, "Oh shit." But she decided before that she wasn't cut out for actual
Murder.
revenge. So
Yeah.
her revenge was going in and singing him a lullaby.
Yeah. You don't own me.
Yeah.
I'm free like a bird.
Yep. I'm not your nightingale, she says to him. I'm not your nightingale. So eventually that night comes around, and then Billy decides that he is going to take shit into his own hands now, puts his tribal paint on, goes into the brothel where they are, murks both those dudes in really satisfying ways. The one dude gets fucking arrowed through the chest into the heart and probably fucking
while he was
bleeds
like
out.
banging some probably a prostitute or something, he interrupts
Yep.
that and spears him in the chest.
Spears him right in the heart.
Yeah.
And then the other guy, gets throat speared, but that guy ends up shooting Billy, which I thought Billy was going to die, which you're not quite sure if he does or not. He probably does.
Yeah,
But anyway,
does.
they escape, get to the waterline, watch the sunrise together as free people, as they say it, and the movie ends.
Yeah, they both probably die shortly after that.
I don't know. Why would she die? Does she?
You think she died? Why would she die?
Because she just murdered 3 lieutenants. She was a part of it.
Possibly. That's a good point. I never even thought
That's
about
true.
that far.
They're gonna find her. She just followed a river to the ocean. It's
yeah.
not like she's not like she's in a secret spot.
Yeah, Billy's
That's
he got
true.
shot in the stomach, I think. So
Yeah,
that's not a good thing.
Billy done. Oh shit!
He done for her.
Andy, where'd you go?
I don't know. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, well, we can hear you now. You're just rainbow.
What happened?
But I do think that like 12 Years a Slave and like Bad Lieutenant and like Brimstone, that like these movies aren't necessarily like enjoyable and that you'd want to watch it over and over again and be like, oh man, I'd recommend this to a lot of people. But the I don't think viscerality is a word, but the visceralness of this movie, the tone is something I really enjoy. I love seeing
Emotionality.
Like motion. The tone of it is super entertaining, and I like revenge movies. Seeing people get justice for wrongdoing is always very entertaining to me.
God damn it.
I also think that the fact that this movie was directed by a woman is pretty interesting, because it's fucking violent, and you don't see many women making movies of this tone. You know what I mean? It was cool. Even the Babadook was a straight up horror movie. You know what I mean? There wasn't much.
Yeah, I need to see the Babadook.
Like,
I haven't watched that. I'm gonna watch that like soon because
I just watched
cool.
that again.
It's a cool movie
because of this. I figured it would come up in the conversation. Yeah.
It's nothing like this.
Yeah.
It's nothing like this movie in any way. But
the only parallel is it kind of follows like the main character is a woman in their trauma, like surviving trauma, in just a different way, a completely different setting, completely different way. But
that
was the only kind of parallel I drew.
Baby mama drama.
Yeah, pretty much. And
too much singing in this movie.
And I know this wasn't a horror, but it had that like vibe at times with like the music was creepy, the setting was at times creepy, the way it was shot was like dark and ominous. Not that it like had it wasn't a horror movie. It wasn't scary, but it was certainly unsettling, like a horror movie would be.
Unsettling.
It was
for
a, it
sure.
was a psych, it
very
was a
uncomfortable.
psychological it was a
Mhm.
psychological thriller in a way. You know what I mean? Like it turned into
Yeah.
that when she was started like dreaming about shit and all that stuff. You know what I mean? It was definitely at its moments.
It was very uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah. My first word I was gonna go with was unsettling, but I chose gross because of how gross it was.
Mhm.
Gross.
Both apply, but yeah, I like Jennifer Kent.
Yeah.
Unsettling's a better.
Jennifer Kent's a
Yeah,
good,
Jennifer
good
Jennifer Kent's
director. She's
great.
done well,
Yeah, she's a good director.
and I do appreciate how different her two films were. Like
Yeah.
some people just stick to one genre. She didn't really do that, and I haven't really looked in if she's making anything else anytime soon. But I would
She
definitely
hasn't.
watch
She
it.
She
signed
has.
on to a new Star Wars.
That's not true in any way.
Like
but
every
yeah.
fucking new director. She's got a trilogy coming out.
But she got fired by Kathleen Kennedy.
Son of a bitch.
She hasn't made anything since, and her Babadook was her first film too. She's only made these two movies.
Mm-hmm.
She said she made this movie because she was getting like thrown scripts from Hollywood after Babadook, but she wanted to make something that Hollywood would never make, so she made this.
Did she write this as well?
I think so. Yeah, she's Australian, obviously.
Right. Yeah, she wrote. Nightingale wrote the Babadook.
Yeah,
Yeah, she hasn't made much.
she only made these two. Yeah, these are only two movies. I think she made a couple shorts, maybe some movies in Australia back in the day, but yeah, I thought this movie was a good pick. Pick that because but watching visceral movies is important in my opinion. I think movies they're definitely made for entertainment, but it doesn't have to be always like good entertainment. Like then what I mean by good is like uplifting or fun. If movies make you feel anger or anguish or whatever, it's still pretty great.
Word. Yeah, it definitely made me feel feelings.
Some people like
Yeah.
those too.
Yeah, I love those feelings in movies.
Discomfort is sometimes, if a movie can pull that off and make it's like Robert Edgar's. It's like it's The Witch, the Lighthouse. Like those weren't fun watches, but I was
in this movie.
yeah, those movies make me incredibly uncomfortable. Like The Witch, I wanted to turn
Yeah.
off, but it's
Yeah.
great. So
Yeah.
I get it. I don't know if I would have continued watching this at times. Like I may have stopped watching after rape scene number 2. I would be like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah, I
But,
turned it
you
off
know.
the first time. But I mean, it was just, I just wasn't into it.
But you made us watch. And here we are talking
But you
about
made
it.
me watch it, and I watched it.
I overall liked it.
If you were gonna watch this, not that, Nightingale or Brimstone, which one would you? Maybe not that, but what of those?
I
two?
would choose Brimstone because I think Guy Pearce's character was just really, really, really interesting. Like there was more of like a supernatural element to him than anything else that was kind of crazy too.
Pretty close on par. I feel like I liked this a little more. I feel like I don't know what it was about this. I feel like maybe I was more into the characters. I think
You
these were
maybe
characters
empathize
I
with her
root
a
for
little more.
bit. Yeah, when I remember appreciating elements of Brimstone, but at times I was like just not into it. I thought it was boring at times, and I wasn't. And it was also kind of confusing. It was hard to follow because the structure of it was a little strange. So you weren't always aware of what was happening. When Nightingale was more of a familiar story, so it was a little. I think maybe it was an easier watch. This wasn't an easy watch by any means, but I think comparing it to Brimstone, it was.
See, I think that's what I liked a little bit more about Brimstone. It wasn't told linearly. Like I kind of think that was made it a little more interesting.
I appreciate that, but I don't necessarily think I enjoyed that movie. Like I think there was times
For sure, you said that in that
at least
too. Yeah.
enjoying this movie where I was.
Yeah,
I,
you said
I
it.
liked the
Martin
ride I
Cool
was
haven't
on.
heard that.
Yeah,
Dude, that's so dope that he listened to that,
hope
man.
Hope you're still listening. Dude, this movie's very similar.
He probably
This
listened to
definitely
his movie and
draws parallels. Yeah. Well, maybe he's into rapey movies like this one, and maybe he's just like a Schwartz, Koolhoven. You wild
it's basically
Europeans.
the same name.
Yeah.
I liked Brimstone better than this movie. I thought Brimstone was just it was more interesting time. It was more interesting the way it was told, and Guy Pearce was just supernatural. What do you mean by that?
Well, like he never aged. he burned alive and didn't have feelings. Like he was almost like a Terminator kind of guy.
He was like a fucking Michael Myers.
He was demonic.
Yeah.
He was a Michael
That's what I mean.
Myers fucking
Supernatural.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
liked,
agree with that. I like that. I think I like that about that movie. I like that. I think I'd rather watch that one than this one. This one was too
Same.
meh.
The thing about this one is that it was very direct. There's nothing else in this movie except for what they were doing.
And there really wasn't even huge payoff for this movie. Like there's massive payoff in Brimstone.
I think the payoff is just like seeing or trying to realize that it was just her trying to shed light on something that no one really talks about, which is coming from her country and talking about these terrible things that happened mad long ago. Not that no one's not ever talked about it, but like she said, Hollywood wouldn't have greenlit this movie. She had the opportunity to make whatever she wanted because the Babadook was such a big hit that she could do whatever she wanted, and she decided to do something that no one else was going to let her do. And I like that about it. I think that's cool.
Oh.
Yeah. I say watch this movie. It's worth watching at least one time.
Watch it, but maybe not.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard watch.
Maybe don't watch it. If you don't like fucked up shit, don't watch this movie.
Yeah, if your favorite movies are like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and Nacho Libre, don't watch this movie.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is a good movie. Nacho Libre is one of the best movies that Jack Black's ever made.
It might be Jack Black's best role, honestly, but we'll see.
I mean, probably next to the Jackal.
I forgot he was in the Jackal, dude. You know what he was also in too? He played the Rastafarian guy, and I still know what he did last summer.
Yeah, he died. They found him in
He got the shears. He got the shears. Yeah.
And they found him in a dryer, I think.
Yeah, Brandy found him.
Also, Tony Scott's Enemy of the State.
Yeah, great in that. He was great in the one where he works in the record store too. That's a good one.
High Fidelity.
High Fidelity. He's awesome in High Fidelity.
Yeah.
What's the one where they invent the spray that like?
Oh yeah, the Poobie Gun.
I think that's just called Envy, right?
Envy. Yeah, Envy.
Great movies. Jack Black, if you're listening.
Movie. Honestly, though, after having said that, his best role is probably in Tenacious D, the movie. He's so good in that. Like when he's like crying because he's like making fun of him and shit. It's so fucking funny, dude. And he's like has the beer bottles like tied to the string. He's like throwing them. And he's like power slide.
Yeah. I mean, that's up there. School of Rock also up there.
I like School of Rock, but
I can't think of any other Jack Black.
School of Rock is a Richard Linklater movie. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. It's my favorite Linklater.
Yeah.
What's your
favorite Linklater? My favorite Linklater is a movie called Tape.
How can that be it's good, but how can that be your favorite? Like it's just it's so
how could that be your favorite, Schwartz?
Why is that your favorite?
Because
just based off of his other movies are so much better, honestly. But it's just such a simple experimental film tape.
Well, I like that, and that's why I love the Before trilogy. That's probably his best movies. But I love the simplicity of Tape. How it literally takes place in one place. The guy uses the videotape to make the movie, and the actors are great. Ethan Hawke, Uma Thurman, and the dude who plays the other guy are great in it. And the dynamic of what this guy did to get him to come to this location is just a great idea. And to me, it's his most original idea. It's a great movie.
He's a great.
It's a great fucking movie.
Experimental.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean,
interesting.
If you're
have you seen Tape, Anthony?
Like no,
have you seen Tape? So what it's about is about a guy who invites two people who he knows to a hotel room, and he uses like a DV video camera to shoot it, like the experience of it. And what ends up being is you don't know is that these two people who he invited know each other from the past. And should
you not spoil it? Should I watch it?
I mean, if you're gonna watch it, I won't say anything. Yeah,
It's a
It's
real time
great.
movie.
Yeah, let me watch
it's
it.
Yeah.
interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I
It's
recommend.
cool.
I recommend it
Well,
too. I
I
love,
watch
but I love Linklater. So.
Yeah, it's Linklater's best movie in my
Oh,
opinion.
you got
Does
Dazed and
he-
Confused. You got fucking Boyhood.
Yeah,
you
Disney
got
Confused is okay.
the
Boyhood
Befores,
sucks. Boyhood's a terrible
Boyhood's
movie, but
terrible.
yeah.
Scanner
Fucking
Darkly.
terrible.
Scanner Darkly's great. The Before trilogy is definitely his best as a filmmaker, but my favorite is Tape.
Dazed and Confused is probably my favorite.
Disney
shit.
Confused is art. That's okay. It's alright. Anyway, yeah, watch this movie, guys. Check it out if you like fucked up shit.
Dazed and Confused reminded me of my high school years.
Yeah, because you were dazed and confused, my dude.
Yeah, it's because you're fucking old as shit.
70s. When I was went to
Yeah.
high school in the 70s.
And I'm gonna give this movie a 4.9.
I was gonna do like 5.9.
Ooh, I'm gonna go 6.7.
All right,
All right,
all right.
Anthony, you
All
got another.
with-
You got to.
All within a point of each other.
Yep.
Sweet.
You got a choice, Anthony. Next week, what are we watching?
I don't know. I gotta think about it.
All right. I think it's your turn, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Sweet.
Let me think about it. I have a couple choices.
Ready for a late 90s, early 2000s revenge movie?
Yeah, I'm
With-
trying to
with
think.
twists
Let's
and
see,
turns.
have you guys ever seen The Parent Trap starring Lindsay Lohan?
Yes, I have. It's a good movie.
Excellent.